That's what I'm gonna say. And so Elijah's time is winding down, and he and Elisha go on this 3-day journey to the Jordan River. And everywhere they go, Elijah is like, I have to go this far. Are you sure you want to come with me to Elisha? And Elisha's like, yes, I want to go with you. And every place that they stop, the other prophets in the town, because there's like a council of prophets everywhere, say, Elijah is going to be taken away from you, don't you? And Elisha's like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to keep going. And on the 3rd day, they get to the Jordan River. A chariot of fire comes down and takes Elijah. But before he goes, he turns to Elisha and says, what can I do? What can I give you? How can I leave you? And Elisha says, all I ask is a double portion of your spirit. So to kind of keep on that prophetic tradition, which he is granted. And then Elijah is taken up in a chariot of fire up to heaven. Yeah.
And this is, I think, the origination for why, if you hear people joke with an empty chair, of leave a chair for Elijah, there was always this Jewish expectation for Elijah to come back.
Yes.
Which, again, we tie into Jesus with this expectation of him coming back.
Even at Passover, they still,
leave a chair for Elijah, and then there's the knock at the door outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also think, too, Elijah passes on his mantle to Elisha, and that expression that we have in our culture, passing on the mantle, comes directly from this moment, too.
Yeah.
So that's the Chariot of Fire.
That's the Chariot of Fire. It's a great song.
It is. It is a great movie.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I know it's about running.
Yep.
Sounds good. So then the second story that we're going to look at from 2 Kings is the fall of the Northern Kingdom. It happens in chapter 17.
You know this had to be like the Confederates' favorite story during the Civil War. That the Northern Kingdom fell first.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah. I never really thought about it like that in the North-South division. But basically what has happened is everything you can do to disobey God, they're doing. And chapter 17 is basically just this laundry list of everything they've done bad.
Northern Kingdom's a fun place to be.
It's swinging. The whole country is Studio 64 or 54. I wasn't around. I'm just making up numbers.
Like Area 51?
No, the nightclub in New York. In the New Yorks.
We're getting, these videos are getting long for us. We hope you like them.
We hope so. We got about 40 more books.
We got a few more to go.
We'll pick it up. And so God uses the Assyrians to come and destroy the Northern Kingdom, take the people off. And is this where we get the Samaria?
Yeah, well, what happens? 732, the Northern Kingdom falls, Assyria comes in, and you should look at the Assyrian art, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's these tigers with veins and they're amazing. So the Northern Kingdom falls, but part of what falling means at that point
is resettling.
The Assyrians send their own people, their own gods.
This is a really common practice throughout the ancient world, where you move people from one place that you've conquered into another place that you've conquered. And so in Samaria, you get this amalgamation of people from everywhere.
Amalgamation, very nice.
It's a $10 word. You get people from Babylonia, you get Hebrews, you get people from Assyria, you get people from all the different nations. Which leads to... it's going to be a group of people, the Samaritans.
Yeah.
And the Hebrews always have kind of a tense relationship with the Samaritans where...
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah,
they hate them.
They hate them because they're kind of Jewish because they have that in them, but they're not.
They have their own temple.
They have their own temple. They have their own places of
They
worship.
sort of mix in
Yeah.
Assyrian practices.
It's
Ugh.
and so from the Jewish or the Hebrew standpoint, they really see them as kind of an alloy of religions
Yeah.
and cultures, and something. I hate to use the term, but like unpure.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how
That's
they view
exactly how.
that.
Tainted, not right.
And we'll see that in Luke when we talk about the parable of the Good Samaritan, where the priest doesn't help, the Levite doesn't help, and the one person who you know is evil, who's the Samaritan, this impure half-caste, he's the only one that helps, and it's totally unexpected. Great. Then the last piece is then the fall of the temple in Jerusalem and the Babylonian exile. After the Assyrians take over the northern kingdom and have their way, then the next great power is Babylon. And the king Nebuchadnezzar, you hear that name a lot, we'll hear it again in Daniel. And the Babylonians, they sweep in, and there's this arrogance really on the part of Judah, because Judah has said, we have the temple, we withstood the Assyrians, those northern people fell, but we will never fall.
We're David's line.
We're David's line. There very much is the sense of God is in our pocket, and nothing can touch us.
God would never let this happen to his people.
And in a horrible moment, first in 597, then in 587, there are two deportations. Babylon comes in, burns down the temple, destroys everything, takes away in the first deportation the cream of the crop, actually. So all of the best leaders, all of the best people, they are exiled, man, woman, and child, and they are taken across the desert to live in Babylon. Now, you know, that's an unusual practice today. It was actually, it occurred, and it really was a kind practice rather than killing everybody.
Right.
Part of what they're doing is trying to take the best and then enfold them into the Babylonian ways. And then in 587 was the second deportation, and almost everybody was taken at that point. A few were left, and we're going to see tension when the exiles who go away into Babylon, when they are freed from Babylonian captivity and they go back to the land, we're going to see some tension there, because both of them then develop independent from each other. The most wondrous thing that we're gonna see, and we'll see it even more clearly in 2nd Chronicles and then in Isaiah, is that after Babylon has its time in the sun, another great empire comes up called the Persian Empire. Now, if you're a classics major like I am, Persia is bad because you're a fan of the Greeks. And in 480, you know, the Persians were attacking the Greeks, and it's this dominating power against the freedom-loving Greeks, and the Greeks triumph. Yeah, they triumph. But here in the Hebrew Bible, the Persians are not boo. The Persians are yay.
If I were to be conquered by any empire,
you'd be the Persian?
I would want to be conquered by the Persians.
They created the first postal service. They created the first road, the first highway service.
They were actually really, really kind to their people and very willing to negotiate. They let people have democracy in certain areas because they wanted it. It was cool.
Yep. And what we'll see is Cyrus, the great leader of Persia. The Hebrew Bible, I think it's a little optimistic. It's a little dreamy when it says this, but that Cyrus had this vision that the Jews needed to go back to Jerusalem and rebuild God's temple. But then Isaiah will call Cyrus the first Messiah after the Davidic line, because the sense of him saving the people. So this outsider, this non-Jew, this Persian leader, is the one who gives the edict that then will free the Jews after living in exile for 70 years to go back to the people. But this formation of exile, we cannot say enough about it.